Nice to meet you all, and thanks for attending our inaugural members session. My name is George Szlosarek. I'm a non-executive director in the Neterra group and working with Neven and the team on various things. So I'll be moderating the panel today. We have about 40 minutes or so, and about 4 questions really to kind of get in more insights into what's happening in the world of peering. First, I'd like to welcome our fellow panelists, Akio, Mauro, Kaushik, Fabricio, and of course, Neven. So I'm going to go with the first question. No doubt we're all sick of hearing about it, but I guess we should really assess, how the pandemic, which has significantly impacted and likely permanently changed the way we work, live, and communicate. I was curious to know how did this affect demand for peering services, and how do we, as an industry managing and running critical internet infrastructure, how do we evolve as a result of the pandemic? And especially, what kind of key lessons have we learned? What plans are we implementing to survive and sustain future such events? And with that, I'll open up to Mauro. Maybe you could give us your view first.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, and good afternoon, good morning, or whatever time zone you are. Yeah, I mean, 2020 has been, and specifically in our experience in Italy, March the 10th, 2020 has been a pivotal day that changed our life quite significantly, and basically was a Tuesday morning. When on the 8th of March, which was a Sunday, the government decided for the full, complete lockdown for the country, and we had just the chance to pack everything. Most of us were skiing in the mountains because it was around Carnival, so. I can precisely remember that, and pack everything, go back home, and be prepared. Monday the 9th, nothing happened really. It was a business day. We spent a lot of time arranging our say company structure back into a kind of a Telegram and Zoom company. Arranging groups, arranging policies, arranging teams of managing the data center. NYIIX has his own data center in Milan, and it's quite an important spot for the telecommunication industry for the country. So basically, we came into Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday morning was the day. I mean, we got a traffic increase of several hundreds of gigabit all of a sudden. Children were home, people were back home trying to connect to their companies back with VPNs. And so starting 8 a.m. Back and then up to midnight maybe, we had really a roller coaster of traffic. And at a certain point I called my IT guys and said, please make sure that we have at least another couple of 100,000 gigabit in the main page traffic plot, because we will hit the root of guy, and I don't want to see a flat line over there. But anyway, this is the first-hand say story about that. I think that during this year, apart from traffic, I think that it was also a good moment, a good year for everyone to consider really routing security as a key issue and a key opportunity. We as an internet exchange have to push and support and spread the word at the higher level, because of course routing security and network security is a matter of attitude, is a matter of say cultural approach to our business. And so everything like manners, like RPKI, like all those other initiatives will keep us say in a safer digital world will be more than a key point and a matter of priority for the whole of us, especially internet exchanges. Basically, that's it. I would say talk a little bit more about say the impacts for basically the enterprise, even if it's a bit outside of my homework, of my bread and butter scenario. But I would like to discuss this back later when we talk about the opportunities.
Yeah,
so
thanks, Mauro. Yeah,
that's
so
the point.
just in interest of time, I'll move over to the other panelists. Akio, keen to hear your view. How did NYIIX, what kind of challenges did you have to the pandemic, and how is NYIIX protecting itself against future such events?
Right. Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Akio, VP at the VP Engineering at the NYIIX. So first of all, I'd like to thank NetIX team for inviting me to this event, and I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you very much. So to answer your questions, so last year, we started the pandemic, and we have data centers, so our data center is running okay. However, many data centers in New York City has a lot of the issues, like their employee tested positive. It's so kind of difficult to access the buildings. So we decided to not to go other data center frequently. That means every month we estimated the demand and pre-installed all hardware, optics, cables, everything enough for each location, so that only we can manage provisioning remotely. And all my teams stopped going to the office since probably March, so no one has been visited office for nearly 1 year. However, thanks to internet, we can operate normally, so that's a good thing. And regarding the technical perspective, so our traffic increased almost double. Initially, our traffic was something like 500 gig, or now it's exceeding 1 terabit. Also, our primary selling port has been changed from 10G port to 100 gig port. So all new orders are almost 100 gig ports. So we are our a lot of the traffic, a lot of members. That's the kind of observation from New York perspective.
Thank you, Akio. Neven, would you like to comment on how NetIX in Bulgaria was addressing pandemic challenges?
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, we know the social impact, and we've seen it, and we suffered from all of it. But from a network point of view and a business point of view, we in telecommunications were kind of one of the few beneficiaries from this crisis, real global crisis, and we didn't suffer. At least we didn't suffer too much. Obviously, we did some trouble. Sorry, we had some trouble. Some customers stopped working and stuff. But the overall effect of this pandemic was that we got a stable growth of both customers and service demand. So I think from a business point of view, that was okay. That's what happened actually.
Thank you. And Fabricio and Kaushik, would you like to weigh in on the impact of pandemic in your regions, and how did that impact your operations with respect to customers requiring hearing?
Fabricio, you want to go first?
As you wish. Here at Brazil, the pandemic, they grow the traffic a lot. It's crazy. It's like 2 times higher. And the people, the customers, they start looking another content. Usually they use Brazilian content, and now they're looking for every word content. Then they looking for Amsterdam content, East Europa content, New York content. It's funny because it's changed a lot, and we can say the service over the top starts to work very well. People watch TV over internet. It's different, and people usually work now. They watch TV over the internet, and everything changed.
Right.
It's really nice.
That's an interesting angle. Yeah. So people looking for new sources of information, of entertainment. Yeah, great. Kaushik, finally.
Yes. So for the region Asia Pacific per se, I got stuck as Mauro was initially saying. I got stuck in India, just returned from Singapore, thinking that okay, I'll be able to go back, but I could not go back, and I was stuck in Singapore. In India for from 14th of March. Since then, I can actually see the real difficulty of people, which eventually people had been able to overcome in terms of getting bandwidth increase and other things, which all the telcos have done very efficiently within the region. But in the initial surge period, nobody anticipated that this kind of pandemic will create such a huge crisis in terms of your bandwidth, your peering, your content, and multiple other things. So it took a little bit of time for everybody to understand the hit, because nobody anticipated that this would be a huge hit for the whole digital ecosystem. So finally they could reach to a level, and it took at least 1 or 2 months to at least get to that point where people started having the proper access for everything what they wanted. And as Fabricio mentioned, that because people started collaborating in the global platform, so they started looking for a lot of different contents which were not earlier was a requirement in the global platform. That was the thing which I have seen.
Great, thank you. Okay, well, moving on. I have 3 more questions. We're going to combine questions 2 and 3 into one question, and I'll use this analogy that in the days gone by, we would have had separate verticals. Data centers were purely data centers, and internet exchanges were purely internet exchanges, and telcos were purely telco, and never the 3 shall meet, or at least very specific products. But we now see a big change in the marketplace. There's a merging of products and services, and data centers are expanding into connectivity and peering. Internet exchanges are expanding into connectivity and layer 2 and transport services. And telcos, of course, are software defining and looking at interconnected models as a leaner way to provide network services. So my question is, in this very highly competitive, dynamic landscape, what services should NetIX and other IXs be looking to introduce? And specifically with the whole talk about enterprise cloud transformation, which you can't get away from. As soon as we open the LinkedIn or the press, we're inundated with so many different cloud transformation programs happening everywhere. What opportunities exist for internet exchanges to participate in the enterprise cloud debate? So that's a kind of question. What product services should we be doing, and how does the cloud transformation create opportunity or pose a risk, which to us? So open up to the panelists, whoever wants to go first.
It's a complex question. You cannot expect, say, a quick answer. I mean, but I'll try to make a long story short, at least. So basically, I would say that, say, every region has its own peculiarities, has its own key focus. We are now sitting here looking at the entire world, so it's very hard to put it into perspective. But anyway, I would focus first on how we should do, say, development. I mean, I have 3 main cornerstones in my head, on top of my head, and the first one is stay focused. I mean, the first thing is we are internet exchanges. We are a cornerstone for infrastructure. but we have to be frugal and cheaper as scale goes up, and we shouldn't fall into the trap of trying to lock in customers or whatever with too much say tricks over there. So that's my technical heritage standpoint, first of all. The second attitude is and the second cornerstone I have is to be flexible. Listen, be ready to adapt, to understand the needs, to talk a lot, or in this time to chat a lot, typing, not be afraid of not typing over Signal or Telegram with your customers, with your members, to try to understand what they really need now. And third is what always tries to guide my development activities with the KISS approach. Keep it simple. We are not here to develop complex architecture. We have to have something that really works and stays the 99 dot whatever 9 you want up and running for the customers to develop themselves. So we have learned this in Italy the hard way, because every time we have a failure, we will have a newspaper page the day after. So we want really to be reliable and stable and robust every say the more the strategic importance of the exchange grows. Then when it comes to technical and development, I think that we have a whole bunch of features, both at the pure layer 2, VXLAN, VPLS world. All of them has enough features and tools to develop, like closed VLANs, queuing queues, whatever the customer wants to be able to aggregate traffic and services over your peer imports. Of course, this is not, it's just a, okay, so 3 minutes are gone, and I'm closing by saying that you're on the right track. Also on the fact that we have to put marketplaces and places where people can share their own say goods and offers and maximize trade inside the exchange over those platforms to support every type of need. I mean, B-end, connectivity, whatever access the customer needs abroad, and so on and so on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mauro. Fabricio, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, we are working here to grow the network for other countries from South America, like Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia, and start to spread the content from South America, because it's very important for us. South America don't work like Europa. We don't exchange traffic between the countries, and we are working to do that. It's very nice stuff, and the capacity is still growing, because we can see ISP still share the connections, and now they are upgrading the network, and it gets more traffic, and the final customer keep using traffic, and it's growing and growing, and we are working hard to do that.
And are you seeing cloud interconnections as an important part of the development of the local peering there?
Yeah, we are working for peering, local peerings, and cloud. This is fashion. Everyone wants cloud services, and we are working hard for that. It's very nice.
Akio.
Yeah. So I have 3 points. First one is to enhance current, service offerings. So as Mauro said, there's network security is pretty important, and our route server currently accepts only routes based registered in RADB. However, as you know, RAB is not so accurate, and nobody really update accurately, as you know. So we are in process of introducing our PKI. This way, we can provide additional security to the routes they are announcing. So it should be available by probably summer. And number two, a market. As the Fabricio says, the South America, especially Brazil, is a very hot market. We have had like almost 30 or 40 new members came from the Brazilian market. So we are like focusing to expand our reach to Brazilian market and trying to have a more like relationship partnership with the market. As you know, Brazil has the NYIIX Brazil has 1,500 members and they are growing. So we need to address the point. And then the third, as you said, the integration is the key. We provide a data center, so we can package data center service, NYIIX service plus cloud connectivity service. We already have the all three major services. However, we have to package. And the problem is the NYIIX is for IXP market, cloud services enterprise market. So market is slightly different, but we can provide as a package in two key locations, New York and Los Angeles. That's what we're working on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Akio. Neven?
Thanks, George. I like very much what Mauro said there from Milan, because it is true. I mean, we have to keep this infrastructure going and make it reliable, because already, I mean, 10 years ago, it was not like that, but now everybody relies on us. And the local exchanges have become the cornerstone of the internet in every country. It's really amazing, and I think it's very nice to see that, because we created. I mean, we guys in the internet industry, we created this, and we made it happen, and it's as stable as it goes. This is the whole. Countries rely on us. And having said that, I think that one of the things that we have to do as Mauro said was the help the members in the exchanges trade between themselves. I think it's only natural that if we allow them to exchange various services and make it easy, that will be a great boost to our ability to help their businesses, to help their networks, and so on and so on. So this is one of the things that I think that will change in the coming, maybe less than a year, is that the exchanges will start offering, this facilitation, maybe, how can I say it, between members to exchange a lot more services, not just traffic. And I like very much, this comparison. Amazon did not become the world's biggest store by being difficult to work with. They became so big because it was so easy to buy stuff from there. So what we can focus is really, make things, make technology, make management of traffic and services so easy that people can actually, use it a lot more, without, any resistance, without any objections to that. So I think these are the things that will change.
Thank you, Neven. And Kaushik, any closing comments on that question?
Yes, quickly. Since like everybody has given their own feedback, which is very, very authentic and important, I have very small points which I'd like to highlight. First is we as an exchange, as an NYIIX platform, we are a bridge. We actually allow the people to collaborate between each other. So the first thing is in our kind of context in Asia Pacific or Southeast Asia, the kind of boost which we are seeing in last 3 or 4 years, people have started forming individual exchanges in the individual market or individual countries. They still don't collaborate with each other, and you don't have those routes getting advertised within the country easily. So they have a little bit of barrier between the domestic content and the international content. So there has to be a bridge between these two different platforms. And NetIX being one of the global platforms, or rather than not even NetIX, any exchange for that matter, this definitely would contribute to create that kind of efficiency to any of the global market and provide the improvised network capabilities. Second is, as I just mentioned, it has to be a seamless collaboration. Otherwise, as Mario mentioned, Akio mentioned, that we need to have proper trading availability in between the two or three or four or multiple members who are associated, and not restrict anybody for any kind of specific routes. Last thing is, we possibly are talking about a global market right now, and there are a lot of people in Southeast Asia, like you can say Philippines, you have Indonesia, which has got around 18,000 islands. The Philippines has around 7,000 plus islands, and there are a lot of Pacific Islands locations which are still being served with VSAT satellite as a market. These contents don't come on a IX platform very easily. Possibly we need to have these people also collaborate on these particular platforms, so that reaching these people or these kind of unconnected or partially connected market would be much more easy for people who are sitting in Latin America or maybe in Amsterdam or maybe in Southeast Asia somewhere, and reach them very efficiently. So that was my only point.
Great, thank you guys. That's very, very valuable insight. And that leads me to my final question of the day. Interesting time, we've got 3-4 minutes left, so just quickly run through this question. The future of peering. So what challenges are we facing? What's our view of the competition? Who is the competition? And the customer demands for 2021. And I'll start again with you, Kaushik. Okay, so if you really see for a 2021 market, the demand, as we have just added a feather in our cap by getting a 1 TB kind of throughput and a bandwidth utilization in our network. And as Angel and Dean mentioned, that we have a we have taken a huge task in our hand that we will double everything in next 3 years' time. We eventually see a huge potential in the IX platform, because the way things are today working, the digitization is the only 70 to 80% of the whole ecosystem is going to go digital going forward. We don't know the fate of pandemic, how it will shape. Every 1 month, 2 months, we are seeing some countries are announcing lockdown. It's very difficult for anybody to actually forecast that what would be the next 1 year or 2 years would look like. But having said that, but the business is still working as usual. People are trying to collaborate and talk and run their businesses. To me, it would eventually, in terms of competition, we will see definitely some spikes in terms of new IX members, but we will not call it as a competition. We will term it as a collaboration rather than competition, because we can't be omnipresent in everywhere in the whole world. So we need to use our strengths and utilize other partners' strengths where they are present and collaborate with them, so that we can create a very efficient ecosystem. That's all from my side. Thank you. Okay. Akio.
Yes. So after or during the pandemic, many customers or potential customer wants to join NYIIX out of our service area, out of POPs. So partnership like NetIX is pretty important to accommodate such requests. So having a partner like NetIX is a very important strategy for NYIIX. Thank you.
Thank you. Mauro.
Okay, I try to be as quick as possible. First of all, just to go back to what is going on today. I mean, two very close and live examples of what's going on. I mean, a university manager called me and told me that before the pandemic, all the students were going in physically into the university and then connect to the internet from there and do their research and exchange information with other universities over the internet. That's one traffic, I would say 10 of 10 of magnitude, put the number in whatever perspective you want to have. Then after the lockdown, all the students and professors and researchers were home, accessing labs and servers into the university and reverting dramatically the figures of traffic, and also the order of magnitude went up maybe 4 or 5 times. The other story is almost the same. It's a bank with people going into the branch offices and working over an MPLS network and supporting the operational activity from the office. After the lockdown, all those people were connecting to the bank, to the bank servers, and also on the cloud, over the cloud, because luckily enough, these guys were already working with a kind of a hybrid cloud approach. But again, there was a tremendous amount of traffic going back into the bank network, in the bank headquarter network, but on the reverse path. This to say, just simply to say that, of course, bandwidth and latency are killer applications for either for ISPs and IXPs as well, because we are supporting this. But we have to add proximity. Proximity is a nice thing. I came across proximity when I was a child, and I saw here in the north of Italy, say just after World War II, the large automotive factories go out of the big cities like Alfa Romeo from Milan and go into the surrounding area to build up huge factory plants. And then all around those factory plants, there was the small factories building up parts like lights, like seats, like whatever. And these guys were working just because they were so close to the main factory. And the proximity and the physical proximity was really important. We have to reproduce that physical proximity back into the network in the digital world as well. For the enterprise, I have a lot of paper taking dust on my desk talking about an enterprise 4.0. I mean, projects are going around about the real digitalization of the manufacturing world, but we really have to work on that because creating the digital proximity through internet exchanges is a challenge as an opportunity as well. We have to exploit now. Yeah, that's my view.
Yeah,
thank you.
Mauro, very valuable insights. And finally, Neven and Fabricio on the topic of challenges and changes.
Fabricio, go first.
Okay, thank you. Bravo, Mauro. I think everyone is looking for lower latence, better peerings, better connections. And what do? We work to get the content near the final customer. This is the NetIX work. And for that, we have an incredible network that connects to many IXPs over the world. And sometimes we are doing the job of the ISP. We are talking with the content, with the ASN to bring the connection to ISPs. This is the future of the internet, connection to everyone. And we are the shortcut for this connection.
Yeah, good. Thank you for listening.
I was participating in some interesting discussions internally last week, a few weeks, and we were trying to identify, what are the bottlenecks in our business, and of course there are a lot of technical problems or organizational issues that we have to resolve and stuff. But we noticed, few things stood out. You know, we spent, you know, we are on the forefront. You know, most exchanges do that all the time. We are on the forefront. Our traffic goes up so quickly. You know, no telecom operators, you know, experiences anything like that. We all the time we have to upgrade. You know, test new equipment, make sure that it works before we put it into the network. Then we suffer when we start, you know, finding all these exotic bugs that Cisco didn't discover before, or HP or whoever is there. It's very annoying. And we for example spent more than 1 year. Yeah, I can safely say it's about a year and a half just testing network automation software. So I was thinking, you know, one way we could help each other, you know, in this group of people. You know, we are colleagues, you know, in this business. We're friends. We're not competitors. We help each other. We could probably get together on a regular basis and share our experience with different types of technologies and different types of equipment. You know, if we have spent 1.5 years testing like 17 different network automation platforms and network orchestration platforms, there's no reason why, you know, any one of you should do the same and waste that much time. We can get together, share some experience. We could even define a certain sets of tests that we could use when testing new equipment, and then this could in turn could make our life much easier. You know, we could make decisions much faster when we have to make such important decisions. And these decisions are not cheap. You know, making a mistake costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and euros out there. So that could be one thing that we could help each other a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Neven.
We promote this thing.
Thank you. And with that, we'll close the panel. We're a little bit overrun on time, but thank you very much for your valuable insights. Very much enjoyed the feedback.